Good morning, everybody. I'm Nikoli Falenschek. I'm currently serving as the Associate Pastor of Children, Youth, and Family Ministry at Trinity Lutheran Church in St. Peter, Minnesota. I was enrolled in CGP this year. I have served as a CGP liaison and am really excited to continue my journey with CGP this next year. I wanted to tell you a little bit about why I value continuous growth pathways so much, and I really think it has shaped me and built me up and has healed me in ways that I will forever be grateful for. There are three basic reasons why I value CGP. First and foremost, this was the thing that drew me in initially, is that continuous growth pathways as a system, as a program, as a group of people and colleagues and peers sees me as a human. I think too often when I enter spaces, whether they be continuous education spaces, if they be in a synodical setting or a congregational setting or even at the grocery store, people see me first as a pastor, as a leader in the congregation, and then they see the human me. One of the great things about continuous growth pathways is that they see the value inherent in me as a child of God, which is even greater than the value in me as a leader in the church. Too often, I think leaders in the church, particularly rostered leaders in the church, are objectified in ways that turn us into something bigger than human, something that doesn't need regular maintenance or love or care. But continuous growth pathways does see me as human and values me as human, not just as an extension of the church and of church leadership. Another reason why I am very grateful and excited about continuous growth pathways is blatantly for the resources that I'm connected with. I think this first year, in the year 2020, the resource that I connected with most deeply was with the Enneagram. The Enneagram was something that my spouse talked about a lot. She's also clergy and she works at Gustavus as a chaplain. And their office talked about the Enneagram a lot, but I never looked into it. Through continuous growth pathways, though, I was connected with a spiritual director named Chelsea Forbrook, who's been helping me investigate and explore the Enneagram and its connection to my personal and faith journey and also my health and my inner well-being. I have found in that Enneagram and in those explorations a lot of tools that will help me engage the world, engage my work, and engage my personal and relational life in new and healthier ways. And it's helping me show up better for myself and for other people in my life. The third thing that I really value about continuous growth pathways is simply the people involved, the colleagues, the peers, the leaders, is just such a supportive group. I think I'm not alone as a rostered leader in saying that sometimes rostered ministry can feel very isolating, especially because we all serve in different contexts. And so while it's possible for someone to relate to another leader, even in the same synod, it's impossible to know exactly what that person is going through. The colleague groups through continuous growth pathways and my fellows showing up at these events, we've agreed to be in these spaces together. There's already a baseline understanding, a common denominator that we share, that we have decided to be a support for each other, which is just such a huge gift and makes this work less isolating. I wish I had something like this when I was in my first call. When I was in my first call in central southern Illinois, really the only points of connection that I had with my peers and colleagues that was of any value to me was at first call theological education. And even those moments that happened there that I valued were small chunks out of that whole first call theological education stuff. Continuous growth pathways is kind of personalized, more continuous, more constant, more unwavering support by friends and colleagues and peers than I had in first call. And that's why I'm going to stick with it this next year too. Having felt that isolation keenly, not only in my first call, but in my second call, in between calls, having felt that isolation, I'm really hungry to keep these connections going that have begun and have deepened at Continuous Growth Pathways. I would be really excited to see you either come for the first time or return to Continuous Growth Pathways. I know that $500 sounds scary, but we operate on a tiered system. So if you have the $500 to contribute to Continuous Growth Pathways, know that you are funding not only your own well-being, but the well-being of your peers and colleagues in rostered ministry. If you can't afford the $500 and your congregation can't afford to get you to that $500, we are in a tiered system, so there is a pay what you can sort of route that you can go. And if even that sounds intimidating, just get in touch with us. Get in touch with Laura Ossie, with Grady St. Dennis. You can even get in touch with me, and we'll work something out. Continuous Growth Pathways is a wonderful, healthy, supportive group of people who are here to love you and to name for you the reality that you are a child of God, you are valued, you are loved, and people are grateful that you are here. Thank you.